If you love playing MTGO, please make sure you check out my sponsors in the description below. Mana Traders, I've got a sweet discount code. Just head there and you can start playing whatever deck you want. Hey everyone, Matt from TOTALmtg here and welcome to the second deck tech of the week. If you haven't seen the first one, which came out on Monday, my budget mono red goblin brew, make sure you go and check that out. There will be a link below. And of course, if you like what you see on the channel, it's free to hit that subscribe button and it's a great way to support TOTALmtg. And obviously, just comment and like and all that other stuff. Sharing, it really does help out. But without further ado, let's start looking at today's deck. It's a control brew and it's got no blue. I know some of you saying, what, no blue? You're Matt from TOTALmtg, you're not playing blue? But it's mono white control. So let's start looking at the cards. So the first card we start off with is our 1-drop. It's a 4 of Authority of the Councils. When creatures, your opponents enter the battlefield, they enter tapped now, and we gain 1 life. We've got 4 of these in there. There's so much aggro in this format. This has to be an auto-inclusion in the white deck. We're basically looking at ways to slow down our opponent and different ways to get their creatures off the board, which we do in enchantments and obviously mass removal as well. And then hopefully find our win cons and just win the game when we've stalled them out enough, as control does very well. So on to the next piece of, first piece of removal that you're going to see. Fox is going to say our second enchantment, which is Seal Away. Seal Away has flash, it's 1 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, exile target, tap creature and opponent controls. So you've literally got to wait for them to do an ability or for them to attack. But Seal Away for 2 mana is very good, and it is early removal. Because when creatures are coming down with haste and they're attacking you straight away, having one of these in your hand is just going to stop, help you with your life and just basically stop that aggro package coming at you. Coming up next is another great enchantment that white does so well. It's Thought to Arrest, 2 and a white. When this ends the battlefield, you can exile, and exile is very important here. You can exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until the Thought to Arrest leaves the battlefield. Now this is going to deal with Hazoret. This is what's so good about white. It doesn't just destroy, it exiles, which is very, very important on some creatures that are going to be very hard for you to deal with. Thought to Arrest is in there as a 3 of. Our next enchantment, well, I could have called this Mono White Enchantment control, really. We've got a playset of Cast Out. We can use this to cycle if we need to, if we need early games and we haven't got what we need in our hand. You can pay the 1 white and draw a card from it. But it also has a flash, just like Seal Away, and it exiles target non-land permanent. So obviously slightly better, but does cost 4 mana. We can get rid of Planeswalkers and anything non-land. Cast Out will deal with it. We then go on to a couple of Ixalan's Binding, bit like Cast Out, but when it enters the battlefield, you can exile a target non-land permanent. It doesn't have the flash like Cast Out, but the ability that this has is your opponent can't cast spells with the same name as the exile card. So something that is really, really hard to do and you think, well, I've got rid of one, but it might have others coming. Ixalan's Binding can really help you with that. You can cast it on that really hard creature, Planeswalker, or anything that they're using as their win cons, and they simply won't be able to cast it again until Ixalan's Binding leaves the battlefield. We have a couple of artifacts in there. We have 2 Thaumatic Compass. I really like this, and I think in control it can be very, very good. Comes down as 2 mana, and you can pay 3, search your library for a basic land card, put it into your hand and shuffle your library. But at the beginning of your end step, if you control 7 or more lands, you get to transform it. And this will really, really help us out. Not only does it tap for a colourless mana, but you can tap it to untap target attacking creature and opponent controls. And just remove it from combat. We've only got these in the 2 of because we basically, we're not an artifact deck, even though we do run a Planeswalker that loves artifacts. I'm sure you can guess which one that one is. But this is really good. If we haven't got like the flash enchantments in our hands, this can basically get rid of 1 creature and it could just save you from losing a game. We have 1 Revitalize in there. You gain 3 life and draw a card. I just think it's a pretty sweet card to have in there as a 1-off. I will be maybe testing to maybe have a couple in there if I can. So I think the 3 life gain for 2 mana and drawing a card is quite strong. And obviously drawing cards in white is not easy, but Revitalize definitely will help out for that. So it's in there as a 1-off, but don't be surprised if it does get upped. We then have 1 of Invoke the Divine, destroy target artifact enchantment, and you gain 4 life. You can see there's a bit of a, as white does, life gain. White does that very, very well. And in obviously the speedy meta that we're having, these little bits of life hopefully will help us along the way, and we won't just die straight away to the, you know, the terrible deck that's in standard that's mono red. Nah, it's not a terrible deck, I play it myself, but it's obviously very, very good, and life gain is very important when you're playing decks like that. And Invoke the Divine can destroy like a Torrential Gearhulk or something else like that and gain you 4 life for just 3 mana. So on to the removal, well, more removal in the deck, should I say. We have Settle the Wreckage as a 3 of, exile all attacking creatures. Target player controls, when they're obviously attacking you, their opponent then gets search for as many basics as they can to many creatures as we exile, puts them onto battlefield tapped. Settle the Wreckage, absolute epic card, brilliant, and adds to the great effect which is exile, and which we have a little theme of, which, you know, just means they're not going to be bringing these creatures back to haunt us. We also then have a couple of Fumigate, destroy all creatures, and you gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. And we do have a 1 of in the main of Cleansing Nova. That has the ability, you know, same cost as obviously as Fumigate, but we can destroy all creatures, or we can obviously choose to destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Now, we do have a lot of enchantments in the deck, which is why this is just as a 1 of, but you never know when we might need it. Destroy all artifacts that, you know, I've seen quite a few Tezzeret sort of decks out there, the blue artifacts, a lot of artifact decks, God Pharaoh's Gift, something like that. We only run like Thaumatic Compass. We do, obviously, you can make them later on, but it's in there as a 1 of. You know, if I feel like it's just better to have Fumigate, I will obviously just change this with Fumigate. But from testing, it's not been too bad, Cleansing Nova. And obviously with Fumigate soon to rotate out, Cleansing Nova is obviously going to be our mass removal that we need. So before we get on to the Planeswalkers and the creatures, we do run a 2 of Approach of the Second Sun. Of course we're going to run this. We're white, we're a control deck. This is just a great win con. We run 2 of them in there. You get to cast it from your hand, and when you've cast another spell named that, you basically win the game. You gain 7 life when you cast it the first time as well. So hopefully, you know, if they do shuffle it back in, it's not the be all and end all if they've got a field of ruin, they manage to shuffle your library. We've got 2 in there, and the chances are you might be a really lucky player and it could just shuffle it straight back to the top. So we go to our Planeswalkers now. We've got 3 Gideon of Trials, 1 double white. We can make an emblem so we can't lose the game. We can turn it into a 4/4 indestructible creature, which is like a win con as well, because we're controlling the board. We might just have to keep pecking away of Gideon of the Trials. And obviously the +1 as well is to prevent all damage from a target permanent till next turn. We run 3 Karns. Karn is great. Karn can be, you know, making the colourless constructs can be a lot of win con. This is what I'm saying with Cleansing Nova. It doesn't sort of go where you might want to have to destroy artifacts because you might be building up with Karn. But, you know, Karn is a good way for white to go through its deck as well. +1, reveal the top 2 cards of your library. An opponent chooses to and put that card in your hand. The other goes with a silver counter. And you can always get that back with the -1. Karn's very nice, and a 4-mana Planeswalker with 5 loyalties. Absolutely sweet. We go on to our creature, and we just run 2 creatures, and they're both the same. It's a couple of Lyra Dawnbringer. This is like what Blue would play when they play their creatures. They have their Torrential Gearhulk as their finisher. Lyra Dawnbringer is ours. 5/5 stats, very nice. Flying first strike, lifelink, absolutely sweet. It's a great card, Lyra Dawnbringer, and left unchecked will certainly win you the game. So let's get to the land base now. We have a 1 of Arch of Araska. We pretty much, you know, with all these enchantments, we've got a good chance of getting City's Blessings. So pay 5, draw a card, Hell's White, draw a card in there as an auto include. And then we've got a 1 of a Field of Ruin and a couple of Scavenger Grounds to help against those graveyard decks even more. We can exile cards. So then we have lots of planes in the deck as well. And it's 23 lands in total, which I do feel is enough because we are mono white. Even though we're a control bro, I've tested obviously this deck out as I always do before I do the tech deck, and 23 lands has been absolutely perfect for this deck. So on to the sideboard now, 15 cards in there. What do we start off with? We start off with a Fragmentize. Destroy target artifact or enchantment covered in mana cost of 4 or less. We've got this as a 1 of. We do have quite a few creatures in the sideboard as well, because obviously with this format we might need creatures. So we've got, you know, a few different types of creatures that have different effects that can come in from the sideboard and can maybe help us out in multiple different matches. Starting off with a couple of Sun Cleansers. Great stats in this. It's a 1/4, which means it's going to block pretty much everything early. And when it ends the battlefield, you choose 1. You can remove all counters from target creature. It can't have counters put on it for as long as this remains on the battlefield. Or you can do it to target opponent as well. Nice card this, and I feel like it could see a little bit of play. And obviously the 1/4 stats is absolutely brilliant for us. Then we have a couple of Castle Honor Guard, 1/3 as well for 2 mana. Nice big butt on that. Creatures enter the battlefield, don't cause abilities to trigger. Very nice, can come in there, stop loads of, you know, ETB effects from your opponent. Go, oh, actually, we've got that as a 3 of, sorry, I thought that was only 2, but we've actually got 3 of them in the sideboard. Then we have some Shield Mares. Now, Shield Mare, I really like this. It's got, like, it can't be blocked by red, doesn't have protection from red. But when it ends the battlefield, or becomes a target of a spell or ability, you gain 3 life. So potentially, there's 6 life on these creatures, Shield Mare. 1 double white's easy for us to cast. And I think it's a nice, you know, it's a horse. Look at the art on that. But it's in there as a 3 of in the sideboard. And I definitely feel, in games where I've played red, this has definitely helped out. It's come in, gained 3 life, and then they've managed, you know, the lightning striked it or something like that, and we've gained another 3 life. So we've paid, you know, we've had taken away removal and gained 6 life as well, which can be very, very essential when you're playing, obviously, red decks. We have a couple more Invoke the Divine. I just like this card. Destroys artifacts or enchantments. And I love the life gain as well. And it's instant speed. 3 mana. We've got 2 more of them in there. And then we run a couple of Gideon's Intervention. When it ends the battlefield, you choose a card name. Your opponent can't cast the spells with that chosen name. And then you get to prevent all damage. I've used this many times against Chandra, stuff like that. Absolutely epic card. Comes in as a 2 of. We have one more Cleansing Nova in there that could be a Fumigate if you don't fancy the Nova. And then we've got a Sorcerer's Spyglass. And it ends up having a look at opponent's hand, then choose any card name, and the activated abilities of that source can't be activated, obviously, unless they're mana abilities. I like having one of these in my sideboard of control decks. I just think it's a really, really sweet artifact. So that's another deck tech on the channel, guys. Let me know what you think of it. Please put the comments in there. It's Mono White Control. I try to do things, you know, a little bit different sometimes, so I hope you like this kind of deck. Some might say that, you know, adding blue and black, you know, will make it a lot stronger. But this deck, you know, if you want to play something a bit different and just play something to the norm, this is really good. And I'll tell you, it's quite strong from what I found when I've been playing it. And I've really, really enjoyed it. If you want to see some gameplay, I've got some gameplay coming up with some of the other decks. So I know you wanted to see some of that. And I've got it recorded, ready for future videos. But if you can smash the likes on this video and let me know if you want to see some of this one, you know, just let me know. I would really appreciate it. So don't forget, as I said at the start of the video, smash that subscribe button. It really does help. And I've got a second channel. There's a link below. It might not suit all of you because it's not MTG. But if you want to go and check out my second channel, please go and check out in the description. Or there's probably been a card come up. Just go and, if you want to support me, just go and hit the subscribe button. And hopefully you like what you see there as well. But I want to say thank you very much. I'm hopefully going to try and get another video out on Saturday. What I'm trying to do is videos on Monday, Thursdays and Saturdays. Mondays and Thursdays is always going to be deck tech, so don't worry about that. That's always going to be out. But I'm trying to get another video out for Saturday and try and get up to 3 videos a week because I just love the support that all the videos are getting. And I hope you're still here to hear that as well. Anyway, guys, you lot take care and I'll see you on the next video.